at Fitzpatrick's car, Dublin Road, Kildare town. I'll show you this car here, 2018 Honda Civic, and this is a DTEC Smart model. Ryan's my name. If there's any information you want on this particular car, please do give us a call, text, WhatsApp, whichever suits, 086 843 1945. This particular Civic is a car that we sold brand new. It's got a service history with the garage and it's one private owner from brand new. What we're going to do in this video is we're going to have a look around the outside of the car, we're going to have a look at the features on the car on the inside, and we're going to have a drive in the car as well. In my opinion, this car represents great value for money. There is above average kilometres on it, but it's had an easy life, and we have priced it very aggressively to reflect the mileage on the car. The reason I say the car's had an easy life is because the previous owner was based in Dublin. She was actually from the south of Ireland, so there's some trips that went down the M7, and she had some leisure activities over in the north, so she trips up the M1. But it covered very simple, and I hate that cliche of motorway mileage, but it actually had very easy mileage put on the car. So it's in excellent condition throughout. She's looked after it very well, and we've, as I was saying, priced it aggressively to get it at a price point that we'd normally be asking for a car that'd be a year or two older in the older model. This means you can actually get up into the new model Civic. So one of the first features on this particular car is that colour. It is a white colour, as you can see, but in this early morning sun you can really see the pearlescent effect. So normal white cars have this kind of solid white finish. However, if you look at this, you can see those lovely little metallic flecks that are coming through because the sun is shining on it. As you see as we get into the video, this car really is all about driving, but the equipment level, even though it is the entry model, it's actually really well equipped. So the early morning wind is kicking up, which means it's really annoying watching a video when there's wind noise in the background. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start off by having a drive, and then I'm going to find somewhere a bit quieter. This car drives really spot on, and I know that sounds like such a sales pitch, but it actually does. I drove this car last night just because it came in, and I did about 220 kilometers in the car, and it is like, the cabin is really quiet. The brakes feel really good, the steering feels really good, everything just feels absolutely perfect on it. And there's one interesting thing I always find on this model, which is the Smart. I do apologise for this again because it does sound like a complete sales pitch, but it is so true. The Smart model is the entry model, and it's well equipped, I think, for an entry model car. But one of the things I always find on them, they're the nicest to drive, and I always used to find that over the years. A lot of these cars which are the entry model, I always found them the nicest to drive. The reason is they're the most nimble. What I mean by that is they're not weighed down with things like glass roofs, all the kind of in-car entertainment, bigger wheels, all that kind of stuff. These cars, they're lighter. Again, the safety it's not compromised in any way. As you see on this one, it's got all the safety features, but it's just a much more nimble car. It's actually a much more enjoyable car. It feels quicker, and what I see on this one, actually, the fuel efficiency is better. That's right, on this car at the moment, over 70,000 kilometers, the car is averaging 4.7 litres per 100 kilometers. And bearing in mind, most of this driving was actually motorway, which is the most inefficient type of driving. 4.7 litres per 100 kilometers when you're averaging kind of 120 kilometers an hour a lot of the time. That is damn good. And the other thing about this engine, it's such a torquey engine, so it's got 300 newton meters of torque. So the acceleration is really good. Again, we're back to the same thing. It's not weighed down with all the extra stuff is nice. This car's about driving. It actually drives really well. It's efficient and it's quick because it doesn't have the extra weight. Just to give you an idea, in terms of acceleration, this is such a nice engine, so we're pretty much at zero. Well, 4 kilometers an hour, first gear, into second gear. I'm not being hard on the car at all. Into third. I'm at 100 kilometers an hour. And just to give you an idea from this kind of point of view, this is how they behave in the roads. Run a actually little kind of back road. Feels lovely. This car is so quiet, the cabin, everything. It's in a really nice condition throughout. And the kind of chassis, it makes you feel really confident when you're driving the car. Response is good, very nice car to drive. Again, look, don't take my word for it, come try it yourself, but I'm very confident with these cars. While I've managed to find somewhere that's less windy, I have managed to locate myself beside a building site because there's one across the road. Apologies if there's noise in the background. Let's have a look at the features on the outside of this car. Down around the front of the car then you can see it's got these really nifty looking daytime running lights, which are also parking lights, and the headlights in the car then are actually automatic, so they come on when it gets dark at night time. Like all these Generation 10 Honda Civics, parking sensors are actually standard on the front of the car as well as the rear of the car too. And they've such a distinctive look, these Civics. They really stand out in the road. They're really mean and aggressive looking. I think they are such a nice car. And those really distinctive shapes and lines in the car are really everywhere. As you can see on the back, it's such a cool looking shape. As we were saying, we saw parking sensors at the front and they were going to be standard on the rear. In terms of the spoilers that are up on the boot lid of the car, When we're looking on the rear of the car then, as we see, there's two spoilers, but they're actually functional. One spoiler down low channels air down along the back window, and this other one then allows the air to escape in the most aerodynamic way possible. Other cool features on the rear of the car then are these really nice LED style taillights. And like what we saw this morning then, those wheels on the outside are those 16-inch and they're a diamond cut wheel. So when we were out in the sun this morning, they were lovely because the sun was just beating and shining off them, but even artificial light, it's got that lovely reflective shiny finish, but the insert parts here are black so they hide all the brake dust. So another pretty cool feature on these cars then is they have the Honda sensing setup. Down along here then we can see in here there is a radar, and up on the windscreen over here then there is more cameras. When we get into the car, we're going to see there is so much safety stuff going on in these cars. And again, as we're saying, this is the standard model. There's an unbelievable amount of specification. Before we jump into the back, I just want to show you the boot because it is absolutely gigantic. So once you slide that back, there is such a large load area in the rear of this car. And down underneath that, there's actually more storage where you can hide things in there. And yes, I haven't hoovered the car yet. The car's literally just come in, but this shows you when the treatment it's had by the previous owner. It's really tidy on the inside. And actually, in terms of storage, when you drop the seats in the back of one of these, it's every bit as big as you would get in a car style van. And what's really cool then is you literally just lift up the back two seats, slide across the top parcel shelf, everything is back covered over again. So in terms of the rear of the car, we have tweeters up here, we have speakers down there, we have electrics for windows in through here, and then child locks over through here. In terms of the inside of the car, there is 3 head restraints and 3 3-point safety belts. In the lower parts of the seat then you have ISOFIX on both passenger and driver sides. And as you can imagine then, because the car is so new, the seats, the rear of the seats, the floors, the door cards are all in really excellent condition. And in terms of size in the back of these cars, these are a big old car. This is the headroom I got at 6 foot, and the legroom, as you see in front of me, is very, very good. And when I'm sitting in the car, it's quite a nice, bright place to be overall. As we said on the outside, we saw parking sensors, so when I go for reverse, we get this screen here which is telling me where the obstruction is. And actually, I get a complimentary screen in here which also tells me I've got a problem behind me. And that radar similarly will do the same thing for the front of the car. So if you damage this car when you're parking, you really have absolutely no excuse whatsoever. A lot of the features that we're going to see on this car for the rest of the video though are going to be inside the car, but they have a lot to do with safety. So in terms of safety, starting off while we're in the car, we have side impact protection bars in these doors. There's a passenger airbag. There's a driver's airbag. There's curtain airbags up high on both sides. And the side of 2 front seats also have side impact protection airbags. In terms of the brakes in the car, there will be anti-lock brakes, there will be emergency brake assist, emergency brake distribution, all things that are allowing you to have full braking pressure but still have full control over the car. In terms of safety, we're going to have a quick look around some more stuff in a minute, but just while we're sitting in the cabin, this is the exact view. When you sit in one of these cars, this is exactly what you're going to see in front of you. So over here to my left, I got my radio, and I know it's only a small thing, it actually tells me the exact name of the song that's on while it's playing. After that then, that can be linked to USB connector. Then you can stream stuff from your phone onto that radio as well. In through here, we have automatic climate control, so I can specifically set the temperature I want and then automatically get the car to get me to that temperature. The gearbox in these cars then is that really sweet 6-speed gearbox that every single car review to do with the Honda Civic has commented that it's one of the sweetest manual gearboxes on the market. Don't take my word for it, come try it yourself. This is a lovely car to drive. Down in through here then, I've got an armrest which has some storage inside as well, and it slides backwards and forwards also. In terms of driver's seat functionality, you have a height adjuster on the driver's seat. And the steering wheel then has a rake reach function which allows you basically to pull the steering wheel in, out or up or down so you can get very comfortable in the car. Other controls then are for lights over here, which we said were automated, and then wipers over here on the right hand side. And the steering wheel controls that are just off to the left here are things like Bluetooth, radio controls, and this trip information in through here, which allows us to manipulate information about average speed, general information, warnings with the car, fuel efficiency, current speed zone. So that means when you're driving along in the car, you have those 3 little lines in the center of the screen we see just now. And when you go into a 50, 80, 100 km/h zone or whatever it is, the speed sign will actually come up in there. It actually recognises the speed sign. Other things after that are based on this side of the control over here. So we have things like cruise control, which means you can set and maintain your speed. But what's cool about the cruise control is it's adaptive, which means once we set it on, we can tell the car how far behind the car in front we want to be. We've also got a lane keep assist, which actively tries to keep the car between the lane. That's right, when you're driving along, this car is actively going to try and stay between the white lines on the motorway if you choose to, but you can turn it off. Again, a very useful safety feature. And it's also got a lane change warning. If you drift over the white line without using your indicator, it's going to vibrate the steering to warn you that you've drifted out of lane. After that then, in terms of security, this car will have an alarm and it'll also have an immobiliser too. So there you have it. That is our 2018 Honda Civic 1.6 diesel smart. This car is serious value for money, and we have it really aggressively priced with a really good deal on this car at the moment. So if you want any information on the car, Brian is my name, 086 843 1945. Call, text, WhatsApp, whichever suits. And if you want information on your trade-in, if you want information on scrapping your car, if you want information about this car, if you want information about the kind of after-sale service we're going to put in the car, if you want information on how we're going to prepare the car before it goes out, any of that kind of stuff, give me a shout, because it'll all be done right. Family-run business in operation for almost 70 years. If you're looking to get into a Honda Civic 2018, this is a really aggressively priced car. There's a good deal on the car at the moment, as you can see. Don't take my word for it. Check out Done Deal, check out CarZone, see how this car is priced. It's priced to reflect the mileage, but guess what? It's in really nice condition. It's been very well looked after, so it's, I think, at a very, very nice price point to get into this newer generation 2018 Honda Civic. Hopefully the car is of interest. Hopefully the video has been useful. If there's any information you want, do give me a shout. Thank you for taking time to watch.